What's going on, my dudes and dudeettes, my subscribers and subscriberettes? Thank you for clicking on this video. I hope I make it worth your while. I am back from the great white cold north. I went up to Minnesota this weekend and did so many things. We will get into some of them and stuff like that. You might notice I'm a little hoarse right now. I'm not sick at all, like I usually fucking am. But I actually recorded some vocals up there, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But my voice is just kind of coming back, so it's not a thing. I'm not sick. You're not going to get sick from watching this video. I just lost my voice because I did an awesome thing. While I'm talking, we're going to be listening to Whirling's Faceless Phenomena. This is the CD edition out on Eisenwald Todesmiende in 2010 or something like that. My last video, I did a video where I played London's Vidernes till Capital, which featured Andreas Eriksson, I want to say, and this is his solo project. So, keeping in tradition with that, because I had the chance to meet that fine gentleman when I went up to Minnesota. That's right. So, I don't know. I've been listening to Armageddon, man, since like 99, 2000 probably or so. I was a really big fan of Final War Approaching. That album is fucking killer, and really all of Armageddon's stuff is really fucking good. He went on to do, Stilla is fucking incredible. London, Whirling, all kinds of stuff. So, man, I've been listening to this guy's music for like 18 years or so, and it was just so cool to meet somebody that you understand musically, but there's no humanity behind that for so many years, and then finally you can put a face to what you know as a musician in your head, and spend some time getting to know him, and it was just a really cool experience to get to meet him all the way from Sweden. And also Andreas does Nordvis, one of the best labels in Europe as far as I'm concerned. So that brings us to what we're going to be talking about, my piles of squares. We're all into the squares. Collecting the squares, slinging the squares, playing the squares in the circles. I thought that was really funny when I was thinking that up, so I don't know, let me know. Anyways, Nordvis recently put out this new Falls of Raras, along with Bind Rune Recordings. I'm so fucking pleased to finally have this in my hands, and it's been kind of weird because I was granted the opportunity to be listening to this album for the last 2 or 3 months or so, thanks to my association with Bind Rune. And it's hard to keep a secret. This album is fucking priceless, phenomenal, and cherished. I love this so fucking much. I'll invite you to read down below in the description. I'll leave a link. My review of their last album, Believe in No Coming Shore. That album just, I don't know, it's just incredible to me. This band is so amazingly talented. Comes on clear vinyl here. Be sure to pick this up from Bind Rune if this sounds interesting to you whatsoever. So anyways, I'm really proud of the review that I wrote of Believe in No Coming Shore for their last album. But this one is a lot more challenging, I guess I would say. Don't take that as a bad thing, honestly. I really like it when an album is challenging. It's like when an album is challenging, you grow into something a little bit differently by the time you're, fully suited to be enjoying the album, I guess. But then by the time you've grown because of an album, you have both an album to remember and some new aspect or taste palette of your musical sensibilities that you can take with you to other albums and genres and stuff like that. So it's such a gift to have an album like this that just challenges you and offers so much more than just any other old black metal album, which are fun too. But man, Falls of Raras is just one of my dearest fucking bands. I got to see Ray from Falls of Raras, the drummer, up in Minnesota this weekend, so it's great to catch up with him and stuff. So the whole reason I was up there, well, there's several reasons. Panopticon just played a show with Woman is the Earth, And you bet your ass I would not miss a chance to see that show. I fucking love Woman is the Earth and Panopticon, one of my best friends and one of my favorite bands. So that show was fucking great. It was about 200 people showed up. It was limited to 200 tickets and it sold out. But yeah, they just blew my fucking mind, man. That was such a great show with so many good friends. If any of you are watching, I miss you already. So yeah, that was one of the reasons. Another was just to celebrate Austin's birthday, Austin from Panopticon. And so I went up there and met Andreas, celebrated birthdays, drank a bunch of beer, recorded vocals on the new Panopticon record, which, by the way, you're not ready for. I wasn't ready for it. First of all, I'm just going to say the new Panopticon record is the best Panopticon record ever, by far. I have no qualms or hesitations in saying that. And also, it's going to be the album of next year. I think it's going to be out in 2018. I'm so thankful to have gotten the chance to listen to it. The first half in its entirety. You'll find more details out about the album as we get closer to it coming out. But, man, brace yourself. I'm fucking serious. I was just, my fucking jaw was on the floor, and I could probably count on these hands how many albums have done that to me. Sure, I was full of whiskey and beer and Aquavit and tons of other shit, but man, this album, this is gonna be a big fucking record. Holy shit. Okay, enough of that. What else? I don't know, I'm just gonna go through this pile and tell you whatever. I can't put it in any order. I'm still kind of tired from the trip or whatever. When I came back home, I had a package from Bindrune with the Falls of Raras, and also the Obsidian Tongue split with Infura Bruo. This is a 12-inch only split between two bands from Massachusetts on Bindrune Recordings. Obsidian Tongue should have a full length coming out on Bindrune very shortly. Comes out on nice blue vinyl. I believe it's one song each on this one. I've only had a chance to listen to the Infura Bruo side. Infura Bruo is a really good band, just kind of straight down the middle, no bullshit, sort of kind of hyper-speed black metal. Sounds a little bit like Emperor sometimes. Members of December Wolves, if I'm not mistaken. A little bit of that sort of crowd of stuff, but really cool bands on both sides of this, so thank you, Marty, for a copy of that. Next, he also sent me Woman is the Earth, Torch of Our Final Night. This album is fucking phenomenal. I just really can't get over these guys. I've seen them live 3 times now, and it's kind of getting to the point where seeing them live is better than listening to their records, but that's not taken away from this fucking album whatsoever. This might be my album of the year when it all comes down to it. I haven't really been thinking about that too much, but I have been listening to this album quite a lot. The LP came out on Init Records early this year. In fact, if you want to check this out, go ahead and take that download code if you want to, and you can check out the album for yourself. Or if you just want to stream it, go to initrecords.bandcamp.com. Link down below, as with everything I do. This is a pretty cheap for amazing of a record it is, red vinyl. I think you can get this for like $15, either from Init Records or a couple of distros that are carrying this. I highly recommend it. Beautiful, masterful production, mixing, and instrumentation on this is super atmospheric. I guess I would say this is post-black metal, pretty much the very definition of post-black metal, but not as bad as a lot of post-black metal bands can be. It's not like fucking Death Heaven, I mean, come on, who listens to that shit? But yeah, this is fucking phenomenal. Okay, next we've got Power Trip. Have you heard the new Power Trip? Just kidding, I don't listen to that shit. I've got the new Panopticon. Fooled ya. This is Revisions of the Past. I believe I talked about the CD version of this several videos ago, but it's not really worth spending a whole lot of time on because this is sold out all over the place, but I'm really happy to have a copy of this finally. I'll pull out one of the records for you. If you're a Panopticon fan, you probably got a copy of this. Look at that beautiful vinyl, though. So, yeah, I got that on CD and LP now. And I love it. Okay, so next I did a little bit of CD shopping. Let's see here. I went to... I don't know, I've been going up to Minneapolis for years, and sometimes I go to all 3 cheapo locations. And man, I talk about cheapo in my videos a lot because I fucking go to cheapo a lot, and I get shit from there every fucking time. It seems like every time I walk out of cheapo, I walk out with something. But for some reason this weekend, I went in there and I only got 1 CD. I went into 2 different cheapo locations and I only got 1 disc, as far as I remember, if I'm counting that right. And I gave it away. It was just a gift for a friend of mine. So, I don't know. I feel like the last few times I've been going to cheapo, I've just been getting less and less good stuff from there. I might be changing my mind about going to cheapo in the future. It's been a long run. But so I went to Extreme Noise, which is kind of like a punk metal crust sort of store. And I don't know, I guess the rivalry between punk and metal goes a long ways back. And so when I heard about this store that was like punk and crust and stuff, I figured that I would find nothing there, no metal, because I don't know, punkers just seem to be always like allergic to thrashers and metalheads and stuff, but metalheads seem to always listen to a little bit of punk, which I never really got into that kind of stuff. You know, it just went from like hard rock straight into metal, so I never really had a punk phase. A lot of times I just can't fucking stand it. So I used to think when I heard about this store that I would never want to go in this place again. But actually, I've been scoring a lot of stuff the last few times I've gone. So this time was no different. This is a band called Bloodlet, and the album is called The Seraphim Fall. Now, I can't honestly believe that I now own an album on Victory Records. I'm still just kind of letting that sink in. It's blowing my fucking mind. I actually met Rabies from Victory Records in '97, and I just like right when I was first getting into metal, and I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about hardcore music, but I was just like, God, that's something different than I'm used to seeing. You know, it was at Milwaukee Metal Fest, and Rabies came up to me and started asking me about hardcore or whatever, and he gave me a sampler of Victory Records and stuff, and I just thought it looked dumb, and so it's kind of just a surprise to finally have a copy of something. I don't know, a friend of mine told me about this band Bloodlet and the album Seraphim Fall. This is, I don't know, I guess I would say it has about 1 toe in hardcore, and it's stepped so far away from hardcore into like an experimental sort of avant-garde menagerie of where there's no genre terms that I can use to describe this other than avant-garde and experimental hardcore, I guess it would say. Really the thing I hate about hardcore is how it's just so fucking macho and tough guy. It sounds like the singer wants to fight me or something, but this doesn't really have any of the things that I hate about hardcore, and it has some very, very interesting instrumentation and ideas and styles going on here. Really fascinating, weird kind of thing, and it was a good recommendation by a friend of mine. So yeah, I'm glad I picked that up, and it was like $3. I rated like the really cheap section there and found some great stuff. Speaking of that, Détente, Recognize No Authority. I was listening to this album a couple of weeks ago for just constantly because it's really fucking good. So I'm happy to pick up a copy of this. This is like, I guess I would say it's kind of speed metal. It's really early speed metal. This is like 84, 85, 86 or so. If you've ever seen the video where Fenris is being interviewed by an interviewer and he says something like, "Big sunglasses, really cool," this is the album that he's hanging on to. This has the singer Dawn, I can't remember her name. She was in Fear of God. She's a great singer in Détente and Fear of God. But yeah, this is great. I would rather listen to this than Metallica any fucking day, honestly. So if that tells you anything, check out Dayton, of course. Recognize No Authority. I don't know, speed metal with just kind of like a little bit of a punkish sort of vibe, maybe. Really just an interesting album. It doesn't really, it kind of defies a lot of comparisons in a way. It seems like, and I actually read some liner notes in here that said that all the members of this band came from different corners and had like no bands in common that they loved. So how they wound up putting together an album that was so fucking powerful and driving and cohesive is beyond me. It's really an accomplishment, and really happy to have a copy of this finally. Détente, Recognize No Authority. It's got some bonus shit on here too. Let's see. Next, I also picked up Prayers on Fire by the Birthday Party. Now this is not a metal band, but you've got to know that this band is pre-Nick Cave. This is before Nick Cave went solo, and I fucking love the Birthday Party. The thing is, all I've ever owned from the Birthday Party was the best of and a live album, and I don't have those anymore. I had one on tape and a CD that I got rid of forever ago. So I thought it was finally time to pick up, a proper album, Prayers on Fire, and I know this is one of the good ones. I don't know if there's really any bad ones, but that's neither here nor there. I fucking love this album to death. Zoo Music Girl is a fucking killer song. There's a lot of the songs that were on the greatest hits are on here, so it's no new territory for me whatsoever. I guess telling you that Nick Cave came from this band won't really tell you much about it, because it's quite a bit different from Nick Cave. And honestly, I have a hard time really enjoying Nick Cave, I think, as much as a lot of people do. Every once in a while he strikes a nerve and writes a beautiful, amazing song, and I love it. But I just don't spend a lot of time trying to listen to Nick Cave. It just kind of bugs me. But this stuff is just art rock to the core. They came about in the late 70s, early 80s, and called it a day in like 84 or 5, something like that. But yeah, that's the Birthday Party, Prayers on Fire. Next, I talked about this a minute ago. Just got the CD version of Falls Aurras 2. And then another thing that came from Bind Rune. Sorry, this is out of order. I should have fucking not been that lazy. Anyways, this is Skogan with their new album, Eld. And I've only had a chance to listen to the first half of this. I love these guys' debut or second album, like a blue album cover. I liked it at the time. I don't really pick it up all that often. And my first impression of the first half of this album was, it's okay. I'm not so sure what I think of these guys, so I won't spend too much time on that. Next, I picked up, like I said in my review, the new Emptiness record. Really wanted to have, a hi-fi way of listening to this record, because it has all to do with the production, mastering, and just the, audio quality of this album. So read my review of this album, or listen or watch it or whatever if you're curious to hear my thoughts on it. It's like 5 or 10 videos ago or something like that. Next, I'm going to tell you about a new chapter in my life that began the other day when I heard this album for the very first time. Entombed's Left Hand Path. That's right. I'm still scratching my head about how this album evaded me for however long I've been listening to metal. Something like 21, 22 years or something. But, I've got a lot of ideas about how it evaded me. I picked up Clandestine. I've always had a copy of Clandestine, and honestly, I don't listen to it very often. It's never really done a whole lot for me. So I thought, well, I don't know, I'll probably pick up some Entombed if I ever see it used. But I've never seen this thing used until the other day. So I picked this up for $3 fucking, and I popped it in my CD player in my car in Minneapolis, and I was driving around traffic, and I probably almost got into 5 accidents, maybe, from headbanging, thrashing. I should have probably just pulled over into a Walmart parking lot and moshed in my car or something. I don't know. But this album is fucking phenomenal. Holy shit. I guess I gotta say, I don't know why you would think any of my music or metal opinions have any sort of credit, because I've never heard this album. Fucking phenomenal. I don't know. I just can't. I don't know how to explain how I'd never heard Left Hand Path, but I am super fucking excited that I now have heard Left Hand Path, and holy shit, is it good. You know, Barney did a video a couple months ago or so talking about like top 10 most influential albums of all time, and this was one of them. And I remember watching that and like thinking, you know what? I'm not sure if I ever actually heard that record. You know, I just kind of started thinking. I looked on Discogs at the LP copies of it, and all of them were like way up in the 30s and $40. And you know me, I'm too cheap to pony up for that. So I don't know. I just never got around to picking it up. And I can assure you, upon seconds of putting this in, that I have never heard this album, because if I would have heard an album this fucking amazing at any point in my life, I would have never forgotten it. And so here I am, age 37, and this is the first time I've heard Left Hand Path by Entombed. Fuck me in the head. By the way, what is this? Is this like some bean dip with some pot on it? Or like, does anybody know what this fucking is? Let me know in the comments if you have any idea, but it looks like refried beans, pot, and rocks and teeth. What a fucking weird thing. Even, you know, you could even more weird is that I used to listen to Wolverine Blues quite a bit. I even had To Ride, Shoot Straight, and Speak the Truth for a long time. I've even got a poster, a 6 foot by 4 foot tall poster of Entombed with this album cover on it, and it hung in my living room for like 5 or 6 years. And I looked at this album cover and okay, I'm just gonna, never mind. This is getting absurd. I'm just so elated and happy to have finally heard Left Hand Path by Entombed, and I'm a fucking poser, alright? Let me know what you think about anything I talked about in the comments. Been having a great time meeting some of my new subscribers, to talk to you all down and below in my videos. And by the way, just in case you're wondering, I have kind of a hard time like responding to comments in my videos. There's been some fucking weird glitch where I get an email about a comment, and then I click on the link, and then I go to the page, I type in the comment, and then I get some fucking error message. So I apologize if I don't respond to most of my comments right away. Just some kind of weird shit going on I guess I gotta figure out. Also, in the meantime, I've been learning how to play guitar. I guess I meant to mention that in the beginning of the video. Learning how to play guitar, and I'm kind of starting, I guess, to work on some sort of demo or whatever of black metal music. So we'll see where that goes. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Fuck God.